In this video, I'm sharing about one of the easiest ways that I have found to release resistance, raise your vibration, and feel better fast. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Adrianne DeCotes. I'm a manifesting coach and intuitive guide, and on this channel, we talk about getting into the flow and manifesting with ease. So if that is something that you're interested in, I invite you to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to know when I publish new videos. The two-step method that I'm gonna share with you today is like super simple, and it's really been life-changing for me because I used to at times get stuck in a rut of negative emotion for hours, sometimes days, and it really felt tough to make my way out of it. It was very disempowering. But now those experiences are very few and far between. And at the times when I do kind of find myself dwelling on something and feeling kind of stuck emotionally, it's really different than it used to be. I always have in the back of my mind that I know that if I focus and if I apply this method, that I can shift out of it. And this isn't the only method that I use, just to be perfectly honest. I have a lot of tools that I use to shift negative emotion and kind of feel better and work through and process my emotions. But the one that I'm sharing today is definitely, I think, the most powerful and definitely the most simple. So let's dive into it. Step one is to drop the story. And what I mean by this is basically whenever we're feeling negative emotion or like strong resistance, usually it's because we're telling ourselves some kind of a story in our minds about whatever we're focusing on that is causing us to focus in such a way that's creating this tension or this resistance and this negative emotion. And a lot of times those stories, they can feel really justified, they can feel really true, they can feel really like addictive to think about. And so this one is very simple. It can be tricky until you kind of try it more and experience the benefit of it. But simply by giving yourself permission to drop the story as the first step and just kind of almost like relax your mind, or just like kind of decide to let it go at least for a few minutes and just shift your focus to something else, or just focus on step number two, which I'm about to share. So yeah, step number two is to relax and release. And so instead of focusing your mind on whatever story it is, when you give that up and focus instead on the physical sensations of your body, this is where the magic really happens. Because like I mentioned earlier, when we're feeling negative emotion, it's because a lot of times we're telling ourselves a story that's creating this tension, this resistance. And the shortcut is not to try to think our way out of the story necessarily, but the secret is to decide to, at least for a few minutes, just drop the story and focus instead on feeling our body sensations and relaxing and sort of just like letting the energy of the emotion just in its pure form, in its physical, in its energy form, just kind of flow through us and process through us. I like the way the Sedona method talks about this when they talk about, I think they call it like welcoming the emotion. And so if you're welcoming something, you're really in a place of not trying to push it away, you're inviting it, you're like relaxing into it. And that's kind of the approach that really can work wonders with the releasing the negative emotion, is just like be in this energy of like relaxing into it. And for me, like sometimes I can do this just by myself. Other times it really helps if like I can get outside, and that helps me kind of get into my body more or relax, or like if I can get a hug or something, or like something to help me kind of release the tension and relax. But basically, like focusing your mind on your body instead of on the story is the key thing that helps to shift the emotion very quickly. Let's talk just a little bit more about the trickiest part of the simple two-step method, which is definitely step number one of dropping the story. Because like I mentioned, our stories about what's going on that we're feeling negative emotion or resistance about can be really tempting to want to think about and try to analyze and figure out when we're still in that negative state. And the realization that really helped me to be more willing to just let go of those stories if I'm not feeling good and stop trying to kind of solve a problem or like overanalyze or think about something when I'm in a negative feeling state is just to simply realize that a negative emotional state or like a lower vibration or a state of tension or resistance is absolutely the worst time to try to solve a problem or find a solution or manifest a good outcome about that topic in that moment. And I mean, most of us have probably had this experience of just kind of spinning our wheels, of feeling really tense about something, of overanalyzing it, or being in resistance around it. And then as soon as we take a nap or have a good night's sleep or get distracted by something else, then we get a new insight about the situation, or something happens to where the problem starts to get solved. So it's like if we can just remember that it takes a higher vibration, it takes a state of non-resistance to solve problems and to find solutions, then that makes us less eager to latch onto the story and try to solve the problem or figure things out in the moment when we're not feeling as good, and more willing to drop the story, feel into our bodies, focus on relaxing, focus on welcoming the emotion, as Sedona Method says. And that is just such a faster method of raising vibration and releasing tension. I know that previously, when I've tried to think my way out of a problem, it can be kind of like maybe if you're in an argument with someone, except it's like you're in an argument in your own mind. It's like you just kind of go back and forth and there's not really any resolution that happens. But then when you finally decide to just give it a rest, focus somewhere else, relax a little bit, you totally feel different about the situation. Or like if you're in an argument with another person, then you maybe come back later after a break or something and you can't even really remember what you were arguing about. You're just in a totally different feeling about it because you're in a different vibration. And so just keeping that in mind, that lower vibrations are not a good state to do your thinking from. It can make you more willing to drop the story and relax into your body and boost your vibration higher really fast. I'd love to know if you have any quick tips or good ideas for shifting out of a negative energy state quickly. Definitely if you have anything like that that's different or that adds something to what I've shared, I'd love to hear about it. Leave it in the comments down below and share with us what you've got around that. And if you would like more manifesting tips and tricks and inspo from me, then definitely check out my free guide to the 7 habits of highly magical people. I'll put a link to that in the description box below this video so you can check it out if you're interested. Thanks so much for joining me today for this look at how to quickly shift out of a negative emotional state. Be sure to check out this next video all about journal scripting, because once you're in a higher vibration state, journal scripting is a really powerful tool for leveraging that good feeling towards aligning with what you want to manifest. Thanks again, and until next time, happy manifesting.